Here we go. And I will kick this off by saying this is real life, guys. Real life in the pandemic. Um, I will be your one board member here with no makeup on. Everybody else is beautifully made up and ready to go, camera ready, and I am not. And if there's one thing that DWKC is, it's real, it's authentic, and that's part of what I am going to talk about today. But so this is where I'm at right now, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But we will start by saying thank you so much for joining us. Um, I know that I've been doing a lot of lunches in front of my computer by myself, so I'm glad that I'm not doing it alone today. I was going to promise that we would try to chew with our mouths closed and stuff, but I'm not making any promises. So um, anyhow, I wish I knew who was joining us. So I could address you all, but we'll do a quick overview of Digital Women Kansas City and who we are and why we're here. And then I want you guys to all get to know our board members. Obviously, to meet the board, that's why it's called that. We've gone from 7 board members to 9 board members this year, and we've had several new additions. And obviously, Digital Women doesn't happen without the board, and so they're really important ladies. But DWKC was born in 2015 as an organization to support all women that touch digital. And it's an important distinction because, in this day and time, everybody touches digital. There's really not much out there that you can do in the workplace that you're not going to touch digital in some way, shape, or form. And really, as you'll see in the board, we all come from different places and accessing it in different ways. I myself, I'm a recruiter. And we've got a paralegal, and we've got marketers, and we've got artists, and I mean, you name it, we have people from every walk of life. And so we wanted to bring together an organization that, wasn't just specifically for developers or just specifically for marketers or just specifically like really narrowed down on one thing. We wanted to bring together everybody and be able to serve everybody. Like, I need my girls to help me fill in my words. Erin, can you hop in with me? Erin Sass is my co-president, and she's the yang to my yang. And it's like when I get hung up, she's there with me.
Yeah, so it's we're meant to be industry agnostic, and again, the ties that bind us are that we're all women in the world somewhere, and that recognizing that digital is a part of our professional and personal lives in many different variations. So we're here to make sure that there's a space for education, for training, for asking questions. So it's definitely like, as far as topics and things like that, it's soft skills that are needed again. So anyone can apply the thoughts and skills that you pick up there. So we're not training you in, Drupal or anything like that. There are organizations out there that do that, but we want to make sure that kind of, high tide lifts all boats, and so that's why we're here. And that's why we want to have diversification, not only in our board, but in our members and attendees, and topics that we all talk about together.
Oh, thank you, Erin. Yeah, I get tongue-tied, and you're like, there, you put it out there.
I knew what you were getting to, so yes.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that's like my favorite part about our events, like the mini conference we had in the fall, where you can sit there and hear about design and hear about, achieving your goals, and hear about, planning financially, and I mean, anything and everything all together, and you get exposed to all different kinds of topics all at once that you may not normally hear about, and things that you can apply and find helpful. And yeah, you always have good sayings.
And
yeah, the boat. I love it.
Yeah. And it's definitely, we want to make sure that what we offer to our members is applicable to your job, but it also, we want to make sure that we're constantly exploring. It might not be something you use that next day in an Excel sheet, but it might give you an inspiration, an insight, an idea that kind of makes you either be able to just kind of give a type thought to the work that you're doing, or the work that you want to do down the road, and help shape to make sure that the work you do is valuable to you and you are valuable to your work.
Yeah. Well, and that reminds me, like one of the main points that I wanted to get across today in making sure that you knew who we were is that part of the reason we're here is to open ourselves and open our networks to the members, and how we can help everybody with whatever knowledge we have to share and whatever connections that we have to share. That's part of the point of Digital Women KC, and being able to connect each other and help each other in our careers. And one of the big asks that we get at events a lot is help with that networking. And so we're very active at our events in making sure that we're talking to everybody and connecting everybody throughout the events. And so it's important that everybody knows who we are and what we do, and that way we can help.
And when you see us at events, you can feel comfortable approaching any one of us and knowing specifically who we are, if we have specialties, if we have something of interest that's to you personally, that you can already feel like you have a person there. So Emily, did you have something to add there? Sorry, I saw you come off mute.
No, I didn't mean to come off mute.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you were trying to say.
You said very inclusive, very welcoming. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, no, I just didn't want to cut you off if you were trying to say something. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead. Well, I will just do a quick. I'm Jennifer Brown. I am co-president with Miss Erin Sass, and I like I said, I'm a recruiter. I'm a natural people connector. That's what I do. Got me in a room full of people, and I can't help but start placing people together. I've been doing it at least since college. I get it honest. That's what my mom does in a room with people. She's like that, and that's just how I operate. I was thinking, like I said, when we started out, authentic is something that's very important to me. I know it's very important to all of us as an organization. Um, it's something, I venture to say it's something that we've worked hard to maintain at DWKC, but I don't think with this group of women and any other board members that have been involved with us, I don't think it's something that we've really had to work that hard at all to maintain. I think it's something that comes natural. Keeping the environment authentic and honest is so very important. We all know as women that dynamics among women can be difficult, and so keeping that authenticity with the walls down and the dialogue open is so important, because now more than ever we need to be sharing what we know and helping each other be the best we can be. I look, if there's an organization and there are 10 people on the board of that organization, and there's just one woman sitting in those board seats, for the longest time, it's been viewed as, okay, well, there's only one board seat for a woman, and that's just not the truth. There's 10 board seats. There could be 10 women in those seats. And we need to be helping other women into those other board seats rather than holding on to all the knowledge, thinking that if we share it, somebody else is going to take our one woman seat on that board. And that's just kind of how I look at it. And that's where the authenticity and being honest and helping our sisters out comes in. And I say all this, I've got 3 brothers, I've got 2 sons. I've lived in a world of boys and more boys, and my experience in the world of work with women has not been good. Quite honestly, in most of my jobs in life, I haven't had good relationships with women at work. And so it's taken me a long time to get to a place in life where I really value those female relationships. And DWKC over the last 5 years has been super important in building those professional female relationships. And so, I just want to keep carrying that on and helping other people to have those experiences. That's why the mentor part of the organization is really important, and you'll get to hear about that from Emily. But I don't know. That's my spiel, and that's getting to know me. And I don't know. That probably tells you a little bit about how I operate in recruiting and from a professional place too. So.
And I'll segue into, I don't know if anyone's heard the quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Someone asked her, when will there be enough women on the Supreme Court? And she said, when there are 9. That no one ever thought there were too many men on the Supreme Court. So that, that kind of vibe is like, well, all the seats could be women. Why would that be seen as, something not normal? So I think that's kind of the future I like to see out there as well. So again, I'm Erin Sass. I'm co-president with Jen. I've been involved in the organization for most of its lifetime as a participant and as a board member. I've been here in Kansas City for about 12 years, always worked in agency and marketing, digital, that sort of thing. So that's my background. Like Jen, I am also a natural connector. I've taken all the personality tests, and everything about me says connector, cheerleader, influencer, collaborator, all of those things. I am one of those people who I love networking and small talk, which I know sounds like I love going to the dentist. Who would say that? But to me, I enjoy that. I love meeting, in groups. I love meeting one-on-one for coffees and being able to give, just give freely whatever I can, whether that's, insight or advice or just happy to see the new revitalized board come on. And then I will pass it over to Julie.
Well, thanks, y'all. So I'm Julie Klima, and I'm on the really because I believe technology is so much more than coding. And I've spent my career at the intersection of customer experience, technology in both the for-profit and for-cause worlds. And I'm now fortunate to lead a team of strategists, experienced designers, developers, marketers, and project managers in an organization that has strong female representation. But background, I've just seen of opportunity to create bridges among disciplines. So while I believe that there's a role and value for discipline-specific groups, one of the things that really appealed to me about DWKC was an opportunity to bring together women to another rather than perpetuating some of the silos that exist both in our individual organizations, but even culturally. And I joined the board fairly recently just because I was really impressed by what I saw from this organization at the mini conference last year. And being relatively new to the Kansas City area, I was some time, thinking about how I could pursue my passion for nonprofit effectiveness here in Kansas City, and just finding a place that I could give back my time. Found an opportunity to invest in this organization that don't know me. I spent almost 15 years in the nonprofit world in DC until I moved here about 4 years ago. And so I currently serve now as secretary of the board. So you can find me at board meetings, really trying to keep this very diverse and sometimes social group of women focused. But really, my goal is just to make this organization the right infrastructure, as well as like Aaron, I had a ton of help in my career, and so I see this as an opportunity to give back. And mentoring has been. I've had a bunch of mentors, a mentor for quite some time. So I think it's just my internet's terrible. I'm sorry. And so I just see this as an opportunity to give back and help others. So if you find me at an event, I'm going to give you some topics you can come talk to me about. UX, that's something that I work in a UX design firm. That's a big nonprofits. Gardening, golf, and Sooner football. So anybody out there, Boomer Sooner? Not super popular here in the Kansas City area, but I found my little niche. So that's a little bit about me. Ashley, I think you're up next.
Oh, dang, I should have been preparing instead of adding you about the choppy audio. My name is Ashley Yazbek. I am our communications chair on the board, and I have been involved with Digital Women officially on the board since 2018, but like Julie, I first got introduced and intrigued at a mini conference that we had back in 2016. So it really just connected with me on a different level that I hadn't seen in an organization in Kansas City before, because I am a woman in technology, but I always joke I'm a true tech person. Like, I don't know how to fix a computer or develop software or anything like that. But I work in IT. I'm in a kind of marketing end user adoption type role. And I didn't really know what type of group in the community I would fit in until I found digital women. And it turns out I am a digital woman. So it was a really nice fit because we do work with women of all backgrounds. So I really enjoyed that. That's what drew me into the organization. A little bit about myself. I work for Lockton Companies. I do see one of my coworkers in the attendees. So whoop, whoop, shout out to Nicole. I'm our technology advocate, which is very similar to technology evangelism, not something that you hear very often in the Midwest. So I appreciate that Lockton is a bit ahead of the game on that in terms of making sure we help our users understand and adopt our technology to make their jobs better. Let's see, I feel like I'm rambling, but I did want to temporarily screen share here a little bit of a shout out to our social media channels. Please follow us. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So feel free to either snag a screenshot of this or just go to our Facebook. We have it posted there. So if you remember anything, just remember to find us on Facebook and we can reconnect there. And I know we are going a little bit over on time, so since we have lots of folks to go, I will wrap it up there, but feel free, there is a chat feature and there is a Q&A section. So if you want to ask anything specific that we can readdress at the end of the call, please pop that into Q&A and I will make sure that we follow up. And next we have Lisa.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, great. First of all, welcome everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us in this unique first try at a digital event. I should say a remote event. I have joined the board almost 2 years ago, and the thing that me so much joy with this group is the energy and the diversity that we have amongst the members, especially some of our new board members. You know, it's a group that's always evolving, and like technology, it always evolves. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy about this group. I will say I joined probably more for selfish reasons, in that I felt like I needed to network better. I needed to kind of broaden some of my skill sets. I find it very encouraging to have women around who can mentor you, because not all of us have mentors in our actual positions. So sometimes we have to look for those mentors in other areas. I will say though, what I have received back is much more than I probably have given, in that it is a great group of women. We're like girlfriends, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we have business to do. We need to stay focused. We need to stay on task, and we need to continue to learn. And that's really, I think, what this group is about, is continuing to evolve, continuing to learn, continuing to broaden network so that we continue to lift women up. So I'm excited to be on the board again this year. We're all kind of, I think, a little bummed that we haven't been able to maybe do some of the events and things that we would like to do because of the COVID outbreak. And I know we originally wanted to talk a little bit about that, so I'll go there a little bit, but I hope everyone is staying well and staying healthy and has not been severely negatively impacted by the pandemic. But at the same time, I hope everyone can also take an approach of counting their blessings, which this group is one of them, and really focusing on all of the great things that we have going on in our lives. And hopefully we can share that with each other. And those are the kinds of people that we want to participate with us, because that's really what our culture is about. I work in sponsorship for the organization. So if any of you have companies who are looking for ways to further connect with a group of professionals that have a very, very diverse background, our group is a great one to engage with. My background is very diverse in that I've worked in marketing for 30 plus years in a variety of industries. I've worked for Wendy's, Papa Murphy's. I've worked in the healthcare sectors, the financial sectors. Each one has their own unique challenges. And so I feel like that gives me a very diverse background that I can share with other people who are really either struggling in those niches or actually trying to find the niche that works best for them. And so, you know, consider joining us, considering joining our tribe, hanging out with us, getting involved, come to some of our activities, because I really do think that you will find that you will benefit from being just part of the gang. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Simone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Simone Nguyen. I am a office manager slash paralegal for Schmidt Law Firm. You might ask why a paralegal is in the digital world. Jennifer and I actually go back years. We won't share those stories here. And but my experience is mainly, I kind of have a very creative brain. So if I actually own my own company called What Do You Want? Because I always wanted to answer the phone, what do you want? I thought that was kind of cute. So I go beyond creative gifting. I create bouquets. You know, I was edible arrangements before edible arrangements. And so that's my background that I bring to Digital Women of Kansas City. And as you know, the legal world is very antiquated, very slow. Everybody's scrambling to try and get into and learning Zoom and, you know, doing trials actually now by video chat, which is completely new in this realm. Depositions. I mean, most of those things have to be done in person, but you know, we're working around that curve right now, and it's great to be in this group of women that know everything digital, because as you know, my first board meeting, I was just like, how do you guys do this? I don't, I've been through 3 migrations in 3 months of switching things over, and, you know, just a lot of the help that I've gotten, they're like, no, you shouldn't be experiencing that. You should be doing this and this, and you should have been taught this. So those kind of things are great. And I hope to elevate all of our events once we actually get to meet in person, and, you know, and get those rolling so that we actually meet everybody face to face. So with that, I'm sending it to Laura.
Hi guys, it's Ashley again. I'm going to actually do a little intro for Laura. She was unable to join us today, but in digital fashion, I will share my screen and introduce her if she is here. So this is Laura Johnson. She is one of our newest board members, and she is over our membership for Digital Women Kansas City. Our membership is free, but it does get you on our email list, and Laura is actually going to be helping build out that membership experience so that you feel more engaged with Digital Women, with the events that we're hosting, the programs we'll have like mentorship that Emily will talk about. Laura's going to be helping us really recraft that membership experience and what it looks like to be a digital woman in Kansas City. Many of you were probably already on our email list, which is why you might have received this invite, or you might have seen our social media posts. But we want to do more than just send you an email or just do a post. So Laura's going to really help craft what that looks like and what that means for our organization. A little bit about her. She is an entrepreneur and a content strategist, as you can see in her background there. She actually is the co-founder of Spark Patch, which she broke away from the corporate world and went out on her own. I believe she was consulting independently and now has officially started Spark Patch with her husband. So we're very excited to have Laura on the team. She brings that background of entrepreneurship and the digital marketing and kind of side that really is a lot of what makes up our Digital Women membership base. So excited to have her kind of leading the charge at, and apologies that she could not be with us today, but this is her LinkedIn. If you would like to connect with her, find her, use Spark Catch. Just wanted to make sure that I at least did a little intro for Laura there. And then Emily, if you will take it away, we're very excited to learn more about the membership program, or sorry, mentorship program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Barnes. I am new to the Digital Women Board. And as Ashley said, I am the mentorship chair for the board. I am super excited to be here. Echo what everyone else has said. I was not familiar with Digital Women until last fall. I saw a random ad in my LinkedIn feed about the mini conference and thought, oh, I should go check that out. And I went and I was just blown away at how welcoming everyone was. I left with a stack of business cards and people who I now consider new friends and great resources in the industry. And now I'm on the board. So be careful if you go to an event, you might get sucked into the board. But yeah, my background is in marketing, PR, and content strategy. And last fall, my husband and I actually teamed up and launched our new. We have a digital consulting practice called Population Science, focused on programmatic advertising. So, kind of another niche space in the digital arena if anyone's working in that space. But I live in the city of North Kansas City, again with my husband, and I have a 2.5-year-old and a 4-month-old who just hit a sleep regression. So you can imagine how quarantine is going for me right now. But again, another reason I'm very grateful for resources like Digital Women. So we're very excited to be relaunching our mentorship program, not membership. So much like Jen said earlier, I think Digital Women supports, one of our goals is to support all women no matter what area of the digital space you're working in. And I think that's also true of mentorship. So no matter where you are in your career, whether you're the CEO of a company or whether you are in high school and not even sure what career field you want to go into, you need a mentor. And mentors have helped me personally find jobs, evaluate opportunities. I was actually on the phone with someone I consider to be a mentor this morning, kind of hashing out a professional dilemma I'm having with how to deal with a certain client situation. And so we are launching this program to fit women at any stage of their career. Because again of all of the changes we've all had to make in the ways we work, we are going to be making it a virtual mentorship program. The hope would be that there may still be some opportunities to do some in-person events, but we're obviously just not sure how that's going to pan out over the next few months. And so we will be opening up an application process soon. We'll be matching you with a mentor for the year. There will be opportunities to network with other mentor-mentee partners, opportunities for exclusive professional development events, the expectation that you're connecting with your mentor regularly so that you can be supporting one another. And basically, this is hopefully going to be an opportunity for all of us to build connections, lifelong professional relationships, and further our careers in the process. So if anyone has any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me directly. Like I said, we'll be opening up that application soon and we'll have more information we'll be sharing in the very near future. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited to be leading this. I'm also consider myself to be a connector, and I would not be where I am in my career without the help of many, many generous men and women who have given me lots of opportunities and provided mentoring to me. So I'm excited for this opportunity to give back.
And I'll just end on that because I joined the Digital Women as a member first, and the mentorship is what drew me in. I connected with my mentee at one of the first events we had, and we have been mentor and mentee for nearly 3 years. So I have been able to help her through transition, turning down the first offer and asking for more money, making sure she got a raise when it was deserved, and now negotiating. She's about to become a mom for the first time, so making sure that she has, not only all the HR-y things that come along with that in your job, but just general, support when that comes in, and how you get back to the office and back to work under those new circumstances. So I can say for sure that this program works, and it does. And I get as much out of giving as I hope she does from me. But we keep in touch regularly, and but would have not come together without Digital Women. So it is a worthwhile investment of your time and energy, no matter if you're a connector or not. We will help you connect. And again, like Emily was saying, if there's questions about how mentorship works and the difference between mentorship and sponsorship and all of that whole stuff, we will definitely be a part of that to make sure that you can successfully participate, whether you want to be or mentor, mentee, whichever side of the end of that. But I just want to give my full endorsement of the program, and I am here to say it works and it's wonderful. So
awesome. Thank you, Erin. I think now are we opening it up to a Q&A? Is it Ashley or Jen?
We are, and by a surprise guest appearance, Laura Johnson did make it after all.
Yay! I decided to sign on to see if you guys. I decided to sign on to see if you guys were still going.
Yes, hopefully the intro you got earlier did you justice. You'll have to watch the video and let me know. But from that, sorry, I was going to say, Laura, do you want to do it another quick intro? I showed your LinkedIn profile. I shared that you co-founded Spark Hatch, and you guys are doing strategy and digital content and all that exciting stuff. But if there's anything else you want to add, feel free.
No, it sounds like you pretty much covered the important things.
Awesome. Well, for those on the call, I would encourage, yes?
I was going to mention before we went into Q&A that we do have an open board seat. So for anyone joining us today, we have a 9th seat open, and it is for our, how do we have it titled? Website and design. Essentially, it's for keeping up our website and for handling our design elements and our branding. And we need another board member. And so if anybody that is joining us on the webinar today has interest in that board seat, we would love to hear from you. We have a job description that can be shared with you, but we would love to have a conversation with somebody that is familiar with DWKC and believes in what we're here for, and has web skills, just CMS management skills, and some design.
Jen, will you share our general email so they can shoot an email over to that if they're interested?
It's hello@dwkc.org. Actually, we can put that right here in the chat too.
I'm on it.
You got it? All right.
Yep, got it. Okay, we are open for questions, but keep in mind attendees are muted. So you want to use the Q&A feature to ask questions, and then we'll be able to follow up. Or feel free to use chat as well if you prefer. Both are available.
And while we're waiting for questions to avoid the awkward silence of a Zoom call, we came up with just some little chit chatter things that we could share amongst the board members. So the question that we posed to each other was, what was the best lesson you've learned from your worst job? And I'll start out. My best lesson was I learned the type of manager I never want to be. Sometimes that's the best takeaway, is learning what not to do instead of what to do. So even though it was not a good experience for me overall in general, I have definitely taken away a lot of education as far as how, the difference between a manager and a leader, and those types of things of, like I said, how not to act. So that was my best worst experience. Who else has one? Even if it was from also I worked at Subway, and I learned that I don't like working at Subway. So there was that one.
I actually, I had the same one, but I'll do a different one because I did have a boss that was literally the opposite of everything a leader should be. But that same job taught me kind of the importance of having a bad job to really appreciate a good one. Like I don't even have kids yet, but I hope when I do that they have a really crappy job where they struggle. And then when they go to a good job, they can appreciate everything that's available to them. Because if people you've always had it good, you don't really know how good it is. But I switched when I went over to Lockton. It was such a drastic difference in what I knew before that. And I was just amazed at how good life is there versus everyone else was just thought it was normal. And I'm like, no, you don't know what's on the other side. Like, you have to appreciate this. So that was a big lesson for me to learn. And I'm glad that I did.
I'll jump onto that and just add that I think having a bad job also teaches you resilience and shows you how resilient you can be, or at least in my case. And yeah, there have been a few, and it's interesting just to understand that about yourself. So I would say absolutely everybody should have a bad job just to understand that about yourself and what you can get through. Though actually after this last 6 weeks, I'm not sure that any of us need any other proof of our own resilience, just what I've seen. But it's also the ability to find hope in difficult situations and to find those silver linings, I think is, another key to that.
I don't want to cut everyone off from answering, but we did get a question on the Q&A from Julie Hall. She said, I'm a creature of organization. What method or tools do you use today to manage your day, especially work versus school with kids? So I know a couple of you'll be good to answer that, versus home and domestic duties, et cetera. How do you block time, Outlook to-dos? Like, what are your guys' tips for kind of managing this situation right now?
Hi, Julie Hall.
Again, I'll start just because I can't stop myself. I think the first thing it took for that organization was a real long sit down with my husband about how we were going to do this and setting those expectations up, because we didn't know. I've got kids in elementary school, middle school, so different teachers, different needs, different times of day, things like that. So was setting up some of the rules that we thought would work best, and then of course adjusting as we go. So as far as like this specific situation, we kind of trade off. He's got a little more flexibility in his work, so he does mornings when the kids are doing school, and then I make myself more available for afternoons where it's a little less structured, and then dinner. So it's worked for us in that sense, but just setting expectations. Organizationally in general, I am still a firm believer in writing things down. As much as I wholly depend on my Google Calendar and my Outlook calendar for work and all of those things, I not only have like an actual notebook I carry around with me at the office our digital women notebook, but I write it down. I learn better and I remember better when it's actually pen and paper. And even I have a paper calendar that I write down appointments and things like that. So that helps me kind of just keep it all together. And I love being able to go back and reference notes and things in specificity versus like trying to maybe search an email or something like that. So that's what works for me. I would say, Emily, you certainly have to balance the same. Any pickup tips there?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same boat. We're lucky because my husband and I, we run our own company, so we kind of have the flexibility to set our work days, when and how we need them to be. That being said, a lot of the people we work with don't, and so we're doing a lot of here, watch The Jungle Book again while mom and dad jump on this conference call. I mean, there's really not a lot of balance right now in our lives, to be honest. I'm a paper and pen person with my to-do list, and so I'm just keeping meticulous to-do lists of everything. And I think the other thing too is just I've changed my expectations from I used to be more of like a week by week, month by month person, and now I'm really just a day by day person. Like, what do we need to do to get through today, to survive today, to make sure we've gotten everything that's critical done today, and then we'll deal with what comes tomorrow. And I hate working like that because I'm a planner, but that's just how we've had to survive right now. So
Good stuff. Anyone else? Jen, you have a lot to juggle, or Lisa?
So I'll just say this really quick because I know I've had a couple of comments about being dark, and that's kind of by design. I mentioned at the beginning that I was the one not wearing makeup. I'm not well right now. So that's kind of why I'm hiding a little bit. So I apologize about that. Normally I wouldn't be hiding in the dark, but so I'm not doing well at managing anything at this point in time. I'm having a hard time staying out of bed for more than an hour and a half. So I'm probably not the right person to ask at this point. But and the board members, you've heard me. I talked about this with you guys at the beginning of the year, and I have struggled with a few months at the thought of, do I want to start talking about this publicly or not? And I think I am going to start writing about it, just because I know that I am not the only person out there that has been through these places in life and had to figure it out. But there's a lot of fears that go along with it when you're in these places. It's like I shared with you guys at the beginning of the year, that you're afraid people won't want to work with you. A lot of things, because you're doing the best you can, but it's not where you can be. So anyway, that's a little piece of authenticity and honesty right there. I was going to say Julie Klima is Miss Organization, so I would expect that she would have a trick or two up her sleeve.
My answer to that is, well, first, thank you, Jen, for sharing. And I would say, the biggest thing that anybody can do right now is give themselves grace, and give their colleagues and just everybody else grace for stuff. And it's really now more than ever. And that's something I've told my team. And, my team, we all have flexible schedules because everybody's got a different struggle, people with 9 months old, people with kids with animals, people with health concerns, people with family on the front line, disease. So that's, just the first thing is just give yourself grace in, not feeling like you have to be Superwoman and do it all. I think that's one of the challenges we all face. The other one is find the system that works for you. I mean, I can give you, feel free to to hit me up. I'm secretary@dwkc.org and happy to share any of the multitude of different things that I've used over the years. But I'm very much even though I in the digital world, I still like my stuff. And, in another life, I would be, working at the Container Store, and because that was maybe one of the best jobs I've ever had. So it's really about finding the solution that works for you. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Giving yourself grace. Emily, it looks like Emily just logged off, but her and I had a conversation the other day about this, that, I think there's this fallacy out there that during this pandemic time, well, everybody's at home and you've got all this time and you're doing art kits and baking bread, and it's just not true I think for most people, especially people that have their kids at home with them. Now, my kids are older, and so that it doesn't affect me like this, but for the most part, what I'm seeing and hearing is people that are extra stressed, especially the ones that have their kids running around the house with them. It's not this time where you can have all these extra things done around the house and you're all extra productive. And I think there has been the benefit of maybe seeing your kids more. I was talking to a friend about the fact that with your older kids anyway, they've been at home, so you maybe have gotten to see them more than you would normally, and that's nice. But I've told, like, Ashley, for instance, plenty of times, give yourself some grace. Nobody's upset about this timeline or that timeline. It's okay right now. We don't have to live under these crazy expectations. So I completely agree with that. And, I'm also hearing that there's a lot of people that managers are being forced to manage a remote workforce that never in a million years thought that they would be doing that. And they don't know how. And so people are getting meeting to death because they think if they can't see them, they're not doing work. And so that causes a whole other level of stress, because if you're getting meeting to death, then when are you going to do your work? Well, after those hours of being meeting to death. So there's all these different layers of things that are going on. Yeah, grace is good.
Grace is good. Grace is the answer right now for sure. And on that note, as we try and meet your expectations and managing your time, we're going to wrap it up for this meeting. So again, it's recorded. If anybody had to jump off, we'll keep this, and hopefully you guys got to get a little taste of who we are as individuals and what we make up together as a group. And maybe our next event will be in person. We're kind of also waiting and seeing and managing best practices out there with Lisa as our sort of health guide through all of this. But if not, then look for another digital event, and we will make sure that we're in communication with you guys about how that's going to run. So we appreciate all of you joining. I know everyone says in every email you've received from everyone, these are turbulent times and uncertain times. But we do appreciate it. We appreciate your availability and generosity in your schedule. And thank you from the 2020 class of Digital Women of Kansas City. If there's anything else, visit the website, visit the social stuff that Ashley had, email us, reach out on LinkedIn if you need to connect personally, and we'll get you to the bigger group or whoever you need to. And that is it for the day. So happy April, and thank you guys again. So goodbye.